Hi everyone, in this short video I'm going to be showing you how to arrange our white hydrangea premium arrangement, and I'm using our Nayland vase today. It's got a lovely narrow neck, 9.5 centimetre opening, so it holds all the stems really beautifully and just gives an overall really nice proportioned finish. So I'm going to be starting by using the Populous stems, which have such an abundance of leaves on them. These are so versatile and often just look great on their own. So you just want to spend a couple of seconds just pulling out all of them side branches so it looks something a bit more like this, where you're getting maximum volume out of that stem. And then in terms of bending it down, you can have a little measure up against your vase, but the idea here is to have as little kind of, I call it like naked stem showing as possible, because we could just plonk it in and it's not too bad, but we have got a little bit showing and it does feel a little bit high. Rule of thumb is 1.5 times the height of your vase, so just bear that in mind. I'm going to bend it down just a couple of inches there, and you'll kind of see now that that first shoot is feeling much more kind of in keeping with that vase height. Similar for the next one, doesn't have to be exactly the same height. I sometimes have one a little bit lower than the other, just to give that more natural appearance. So I'm just going to take this one down a little bit more, not hugely, and then just crossing them over in the vase. And they actually do just look really nice, just like that on their own. But we're not going to stop there. I like to get my kind of biggest focal flowers in next, just so that these, you're happy with the placement and these feel a bit more kind of like nestled into the foliage rather than kind of all being bunched in together right at the end. You want these to have enough space to fill out the arrangement. So first one, I'm going to have much lower down in the vase, so almost kind of hanging over the edge of the neck. And we're going to have that slightly off center so it doesn't look too symmetrical. So just bending that down a couple of inches and plonking that in. And the beauty with faux stems is that you really can kind of manipulate that, the way that they bend, the way that they face, because they're fully wired. So just by bending that kind of towards me, you can see how that's now kind of coming almost at my angle. Now with the other two, I'm probably not going to bend these. They're kind of the perfect height. So I'm going to have one going around that side, facing that way, and the other one facing more towards my way, so that if you were to look at this arrangement from all them angles, you're still seeing some of that focal flower. Just going to pop that in there. And you could bend, you know, one of them slightly more so that they don't feel too all the same height, but I'm really happy with that kind of placement. It feels very natural. Next up, I'm going to get the ranunculus sprays in. So we've got 2 of these, and again, when you receive these, they will be super upright, maybe not that much, but they will be very straight. And you just want to bend them out and tease that wire into just a shape that feels a bit more natural. And it's often a little bit easier to do that once it's in the vase, because you know where you want the placement of the flower heads to go. So with this one, I'm going to have it kind of coming in this location around about there. So a relatively decent bend on that, so a good 4 inches. And then just nestling that in between those lovely hydrangea. And we're just breaking up that focal flower with a smaller flower. And can you see how like this little bud's just being bent kind of to hang over a little bit? And then these two are feeling like they're not too, you know, straight or upright. And then with the other one, I'm going to have that coming up much taller, possibly not full height. We might just take that down an inch or so. I reckon about there, and have that in a completely different place to the other one, just to really give as much volume and make it feel as authentic and natural as possible. And then for our filler flower, we're using wax flower, and this is just such a versatile stem that I use in almost every single green and whites arrangement, because it just breaks everything up, gives it that delicacy, and is the perfect kind of in-between stem to a flower and the foliage. So once again, I'm going to have one coming shorter and almost through the middle of that arrangement. But the beauty with the wax flower is it's got these lovely side shoots, so you can really move them around to your advantage if you want, you know, a little sprig coming down here just to break that up. You've got the taller one coming through here and the other one going over there to break them up. So it's just such a great stem. The other one I'm going to use for like a little bit of height, probably over this side more. And I'm going to leave that actually at full height and come in around about there. So you can see, so I haven't bent that one at all. So yeah, just I really love this one because it's such a classic, like timeless all year round arrangement. But yeah, you can see there, I'll pop it on here actually, so you can see sometimes with a nice plain background. And then you can stand back and almost give it any final little tweaks that you want to make sure that you're completely happy with it. But yeah, there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that kind of helps give you a little bit of confidence and so a few little easy, quick tips to make your arrangement look as realistic as possible. Thank you for watching.